So this is going to be a little bit of an awkward conversation. If you own a business and you are at or close to retirement age, you may or may not have thought about, well, you take that back, take a step back. You have thought about how much your business is worth, but you may or may not have gone as far as having a valuation done on your business. And when you prepare to sell your business, this is something that you need to do. The problem that I see is usually when people find out how businesses are valued, it's very disappointing because they have a number in mind that they will need for an enjoyable retirement, or that they just truly believe that their business is worth, and that number isn't calculated by the same method that businesses are valued by. So here's the bad news. So, well, it depends if it's bad news. It's bad news if you're not aware, but businesses are valued on a multiple of their cash flow, earnings, profit. We can call it different terms. I'm not going to get super fancy for this video because it's not about the jargon or the terminology, but you have a small business, you have your top line revenue, sales or income, and then you have your bottom line, which is your profit. And we all know about that. We probably look at that. Maybe you look at it annually with your accountant. Maybe you look at your monthly P&Ls. But I was just thinking about this earlier, and I have it over here on my computer. There is a book called Profit First. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's by a guy called Mike Michalowicz or Witz. I think it's Michalowicz. And he talks about, he calls it, I read the book ages ago. He calls it like checkbook accounting or bank account accounting. So what he says is that most business owners, they know how much is in the bank account, they know how much their receivables are, and they know how much their payables are. So they kind of have an idea if they're good. They can pay the bills, they've got some extra money. And that is, if you have a small business, that's probably how you manage the finances. And then at the end of the year, you do your taxes and your accountant tells you what you owe, or you've been paying your quarterly estimations through the year. So the problem is that you could be at retirement age, you could be finding this out that, it's a multiple of cash flow. Well, my business is worth 5 million. Well, if you're doing 5 million and you have 10% profit margins, that's not going to be true. So what can you do? Okay, so first thing is to get your financial house in order. So figure out exactly where you're at. You want 3 years of financials. You want to add back all of the expenses that are your benefit, that just help you, that when you sell the business, a new owner won't need to spend that money. That could be, and those are even one-time large things, like maybe you had some lawyer's fees, or maybe you did some renovations on your house and run it through the books, but they have to be verifiable. It's really important. You don't want to get into a situation where you state a whole bunch of add backs and then you have somebody looking to buy your business and through due diligence, they can't prove it, because that will be a problem for you, because they will want to then adjust the price down. So, okay, let's not get too in the weeds on that. So, if you feel that this is bad news, what can you do? Well, the first thing is, like I said, get the financials in order, find out exactly where you're at. Now, if you have to put in a couple more years to make improvements, to improve the profit so that you can improve the value of your business, and if you're kind of like, oh, Colette, I'm done, I want to retire, that's fine. If you have a team, lean on your team. You've already done the blood, sweat and tears bit. So focus on your key people, have them help you, improve your systems, improve your sales, get all that knowledge that's in your head into processes and procedures, and have them help you. You know, you're the one you're the brains of the organization, you're the one that has got the company here, but your team, they can help you to get it to the next level, and they can help you to make it more profitable. And they would love to do that, because then when the business sells, they can stay on with a new owner and the business can continue to grow. Otherwise, unfortunately, I have personally seen situations where people have not pre-planned for this and ended up closing what could have been a perfectly sellable business just because they had kind of run out of time due to personal circumstances. It was still a good business, but just when I'm talking about that multiple of profit, and the multiples are not 10 times, just so that we're clear, okay? It's going to be between 1 and 3.5 for a small business. Anything under 750,000 in profit is not going to sell for over 3.5 times earnings times cash flow. Okay, so it's bad news or it's really good news, right? Maybe you have a hugely profitable business. I actually worked with a couple that they did indeed. They had 800,000 in cash flow in their business, and it was very easy for them to sell. They had hundreds and hundreds of people interested in their business. So if that's not you, don't worry. Take those tips, and if you'd like some more tips on how to improve the business without having to break your back as you did probably when you were younger, just send me a message.